Cool.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he's sitting in the wing. Here we go. Okay, fellas, we are live, up and running. This is Hoya Locker Room, episode 69. We have Chuma Azinge in the building. We can't thank him enough for coming through. It means a lot. We've been looking forward to this day. And it's by no accident that you were our first choice or first person we reached out to. First and foremost, because I've been stalking you all year. And it's been one of those things where I was a bench player, and I have the admiration through the roof. I know what it is. I know what that's like. And, so I usually look at the bench as much as I'm looking at what's going on court. And I was fortunate enough to, I only attended one game this year when you guys came out west. And I had my little guy with me. And my goal was to get there for warm-ups. But because of the travel, you cats were in Anaheim. You know how it is to get from LA to Anaheim. So, that took me a minute. But I just, again, salutations, man. We really appreciate you coming through. I'm going to introduce you to Malcolm Stansbury, 3-time Manager of the Year at Georgetown. So royalty is definitely here. And we're gonna get rolling right away. Malcolm, you got a few words to say?
I just want to get right into it, man.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I just want to say before we get into it, though, shout out to my mom for letting me use her computer. Shout out to me for figuring out this Mac. I hate Macs, rotten apples. So Chuma, let's start off with this. How did you end up on the hilltop?
Yeah, no, 100%. So I'm originally from like the California area. Like,
San Marino.
Yeah, exactly. San Marino school. Kind of played out my AAU years over there and everything. And I said, like, as a junior, kind of made the decision that I wanted to play at a high academic school. Started hearing from a lot of spots, mainly like Division III at that time. Yeah, that was a thought process for me. Definitely on a campus where, the education is going to propel me forward for a long time. And then my senior year kind of rolled around, and during my senior year, I'd say kind of just through growing, filling into my body a little bit, started picking up like more Division I interest from schools like Montana State and CSUN throughout the year. And I felt like, given that, like I was kind of fitting more into that mold, and I obviously still had the goal of playing like at a high academic level, I wanted to do what I could to kind of combine the two.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think Georgetown is a little higher academically than CSUN.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, no, so essentially, like, I made the decision to go to prep school and kind of try to let more options come through that. I ended up in Connecticut at a prep school called Choate Rosemary Hall.
Wow.
And
yeah. And when I was in high school. I actually got admitted. I got admitted to Choate when I was in high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No,
Mom wouldn't let me go, though.
Chuma, don't sound surprised.
Oh, man. No, Choate is a great school. Definitely does make sense that moms wouldn't let you go. Far from home for sure, boarding situation. But I think as far as like basketball and everything, it was really good for me. Kind of helped me put together like a schedule for the first time, and in terms of just like being up in the morning, getting my workouts in, going to class, and just having everything work out that way. Really cool experience. Definitely expanded like my basketball options as well. Started to pick up interest in like Ivy League schools. And I think by the time I started visiting, definitely like the schools that I got into, including Georgetown, I definitely, or I mean, out of those schools, definitely enjoyed like the DC area the most. I think something that definitely helped me make the decision was a quote from the coach who was at MIT at the time. I think he might actually still be there. His name's Larry Anderson. He told me not to go where they want you, but to go where you want to go and to make them want you, to make them need you. Um, so that was my thought process. Kind of at the end of the line, it was a decision between Georgetown and Cornell. Um, my coaching staff had pretty strong connections, the coaching staff here. So they were able to get me kind of in contact early. And then by the time I was ready to make a decision, Georgetown had given me the walk-on spot as well. And I think I was just much more comfortable being here, kind of like surrounded by a city, playing for an organization that has kind of just been storied. Um, and I definitely value being at like a really high level basketball organization as well as academics. That's definitely how I made the decision.
Got a couple of follow-ups for you. You mentioned Cornell. Uh, when Cornell was recruiting you, was Matt Morgan on the team? He's the son of a Hoya, Lamont Morgan.
Yeah. So Matt was a senior at the time when I had done my senior year, kind of going into prep school. He was a senior there.
Okay.
Never really met him or anything, but he was definitely on the roster when I was watching the games.
And where did you say you're from?
Originally from San Marino, California.
San Marino. That's
Yeah,
like
6 miles northeast of LA.
exactly.
right. I'm trying to think of the freeway. Is that by the 60? Is that where that is?
The 110 is real close.
The 110. Okay. So I'm just curious. You were mentioning academic schools. Did you consider? And I don't even know if they, well, like what level basketball they are. The Claremont McKenna institutions. Did you consider them at all?
Yeah. So my senior year, a lot of their Division 3 school.
Okay.
Like a lot of the looks that I was getting from high academic institutions were like in the realm of Claremont McKenna, like Caltech, Occidental, schools like Washington University and St. Louis, like really great institutions. It was
Hold on. Since you mentioned that, I have to say, people are gonna be
Chuma, he's going to do
surprised.
this a lot, interrupt you, just so you know.
People are gonna be surprised by this. Watch you and St. Louis recruited me. High school.
For what? For what? For what?
For hoops and academics.
Okay, for academics. Okay, the hoops. Yeah, we're going to just keep it academics.
Oh man, no, that's awesome. I love the coaching staff over there. Great spot, real pretty school too.
Well, I'm a crate digger. If you haven't noticed, I stay in them crates. I think I've sent you a couple things, Chuma, and I caught some video of you at Choke, and yeah, you say whatever you want. I didn't have a high school reel like that though. Going left, Euro step, dunks off the baseline. So and where I'm going with that is I've watched you fill up. Like your body has transformed since you've been at the program. So clearly your work ethic is both on and off the court. Um, I'm looking for you to play next year. So I'm putting it out there now. Like because our path, though very different in different times, I wasn't recruited heavily. It was one of those deals where I felt like a walk on when I arrived at Georgetown. And through a lot of the communication we've had, I've shared with you, like, you have an incredible role to play. And I see it in you, I feel it from you. And I just, again, I've watched you fill up, and from what I understand, you're the most athletic in the warm-up line. So, so I'm looking to see some of that athleticism jump on the court. What was it like for you that first time walking in the locker room, being a walk-on? What were you intimidated? Were you seizing the moment? Was it carpe diem? Explain that feeling.
That's interesting. I think the first time I really walked in the locker room with the guys, so I had actually come in the summer a little bit before my freshman year, just to like start working out early. I came in, I think I watched 2 or 3 practices before like I actually jumped in with the guys.
Smart.
Yeah. Kind of get a feel for some of the guards that I'd be guarding, that type of thing. But yeah, no, I never felt like alienated or anything with the team. Pretty welcoming group of guys for sure. Definitely getting on the court, like much faster pace than I'd played in prep school and high school, all of that. Um, but I mean, I felt comfortable, like I definitely felt like size wise, I was at least at par with a lot of the guys. And felt like I could definitely, hang around. Yeah.
Did anyone like take you under their wing? Because that senior class when you got there was Omer, Terrell Allen.
Yeah. And
What? Yeah. Okay. Did anybody take you under their wing and kind of?
I was actually real cool with all of them. All the three people that you just mentioned, Terrell, um, really close with Jagan. Jagan was like a real headstrong guy, like you know what I mean, easy to talk to. Definitely a great Hoya for sure. And then Omer was actually my road roommate, so a lot of cool talks with
They
that guy.
stuck you with big guy.
Yeah,
Interesting.
no, fun times for sure.
Did you, Mark? You want to take the next?
Uh, I just want to shout out the three guys who were walk-ons when I was there: Art, Chip, and Kaide, and two guys who thought they should have been walk-on. I don't want to give them a shout out. I want to give them a shout in, whatever the opposite of shout out is. Chris Handy and Dwayne Brody, who regularly got instructed on the finer aspects of hoops up at Yates by me. Just want to get that to them.
No doubt, no doubt. Um, if you kind of see the theme of what Hoya locker room is all about, we take that locker room very seriously, but it's about the legacy, history, pride of the program, and I guess that leads me to ask you: did you know much about the program before you got there? Because you seem like a research guy already. I mean, the fact that you were showing up to the run, peeping who you were going to be guarding is dope. But did you know much about the tradition of Georgetown basketball?
Yeah, no, I think funny enough, actually the first college basketball game that I watched was a Georgetown basketball game. I had been like just one of those kids who like to watch the top 10 reels. The first like half of my life I really played soccer, so like not the most basketball interest, but it was a Georgetown Cincinnati game. There was a kid, his name was Sean Kilpatrick, who played for Cincinnati. And like the night before was on ESPN Top 10. I think he had two different clips on there. And just really wanted to see him play. So I had a game the next day against Georgetown. I'm pretty sure it was one of those like preseason tournaments type deal. And then watched the game, kind of fell in love with the jerseys, the whole silhouette. I think the Allen Iverson thing is something that every kid kind of knows about his time up at the Hilltop.
I see it behind you.
Yeah. I was
Represent.
about to ask about that. You mentioned that. I'm wondering where you are in the story about that picture being on the wall.
You mean like the time that the picture was taken?
No. I mean, why you have it there? Like, who is that? Are you in the basketball office? You in your like in your dorm room? Like,
Yeah. So I'm taking this call from the trophy room.
from the what room?
Trophy room.
Okay. That explains it. Got
They
you.
didn't have that when you were there.
Yeah, that's new information for me.
Yeah. I basically stalk Chuma to see the gear that they have. Because every time I check him out, he got fresh shit on. So I'm checking to see what the gear is. So you guys are always on point with the gear for sure. We weren't a Jordan school, so that's a good.
Chuma, let's be clear. Jordan Brand did not exist when Gene was in school.
You are 100% correct. Jordan Brand was 85, 86. Yeah, 86. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And when he brings up the Jordan Brand, just for the record, Chuma, I was the first sales rep for the Jordan Brand. So just to throw that out there. I worked at Nike for a grip. And after being in Nike for a while, I transitioned over to the Jordan Brand because the Jordan Brand separated and kind of had their own management group, their own leadership. So I kind of moved over to the Jordan Brand. So yeah, that's, thank you, Markham, for letting me know about when the Jordan Brand started. Much appreciated.
Yeah, it seemed a little unclear. So, but
Chuma, what I like to kind of pick your brain about, or maybe our fans would like to hear, college basketball obviously has evolved. It's crazy, tumultuous now. Movement is all over the place. You guys have so much access. Coaches have so much access to everything. What's it like being a student athlete today?
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting. I think every year you see a lot of turnover on every roster. You know, players go, players come. Um, Definitely, I guess from like a perspective of a player, it's a lot about kind of just finding out what your role is on the team and just each year trying to get better at doing what that is. I think from like the student aspect, keeping your goals like very, solid in terms of what you value, where you place, you know what I mean, the amount of time that you have in your day. Um, because there's always going to be more studying that you can do. There's always going to be more work on campus. There's always going to be something that you can be doing. It's just kind of all about what you prioritize with your time, um, and finding, I guess, that balance, right? This year specifically has been real interesting on that front because like I've definitely tried to step up like in terms of the role that I've had in the basketball team, being an upperclassman, kind of just past 2 years learning all the plays, learning kind of how things work around here, and just trying to help the younger guys figure things out quicker, um, as well as being in more difficult classes, as well as just taking on different roles on campus and things of that nature. So all about the balance. um, Knowing yourself is like a real important aspect of the whole, process. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I've been having fun for sure.
so you touched on something that kind of made me think about something. You talked about helping the younger guys out, and I'm wondering uh, a couple of things. Uh, you made me think about one, with the difficult season this year. How did you guys on the guys on the team stay connected and continue to fight through so many losses?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for us as the players, each and every game, we've known that we have the talent in the building to get it done. Um, and just kind of reminding ourselves after each game, that every individual player has skill sets that can help us win. It's all just about kind of like locking down in practice, um, and fixing the little things like end of game situations that might have, what I mean, prevented us from
Right.
being successful and that type of thing. I think each and every game, there's a different thing that you can evaluate on the court. Just making sure that people are seeing, the reasons why we aren't winning, what they can be doing better in those scenarios is like the biggest thing for us. Um, and then I think everything else is more so just about mindset, kind of like making sure that everybody's getting the extra reps that they need to be getting so that they're comfortable in those situations is definitely like the biggest piece in my opinion. Um, because mindset is key, right? You're not gonna make the shot unless you know you can, type of situation.
It's,
What I
it,
like to
especially in
add
this
to that, Markham, if you let me just jump in real quick, did winning the Big East championship last year, was that helpful helping you navigate what was obviously a challenging season? Did you find referencing that? Because having that success, obviously, if you're going through a tough time, at least you have something to fall back on to say, okay, yeah, we know we can win, we know we can get busy. But was that helpful?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think winning the Big East championship last year kind of showed everybody that like, regardless of what happens, early in the season, and like for the duration of the season, like all it takes is a flip of a switch, and things can turn around for sure. Um, Definitely with like preseason rankings and things like that, like seeing where I guess we get placed by all the coaches and everything, um, and being able to show that regardless of all that, like we did last season, coming from, I think, preseason like 11 or 10 to winning the championship in the tournament, it just shows that kind of like all of that stuff doesn't really matter. It's more so about just locking in as a team, for sure. And that, I think, is something that coach pushed throughout the entire year that was big for everybody.
Turn that into motivation.
Exactly.
Motivation.
So one more question about the team, and this relates to Gene's experience as a player. I know for a fact that when he was a freshman, somebody on the team saw him looking through the playbook and took his playbook and told him he didn't need that because he wasn't going to be playing. Are there any guys on the team with that type of mentality, or is it more of a, hey, let me show you how to go through this playbook?
It was in the 80s, Chuma. It was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's bullying anybody like that right now. I think pretty much supportive cast.
It wasn't considered bullying back then, Chuma.
Oh man, no, I definitely not. I don't think so.
So I think you were saying that everybody on the team can make a layup without twisting their ankle, so they don't miss the biggest game of their life.
I think so.
I'm hoping Chuma don't know what that inference is.
Do you know what that means?
Was it Gene?
Yes. Do you know what that means?
Gene missed what? Don't tell me it was a national championship.
Gene missed the national championship game because he had a breakaway. He ripped a guy, went down the court all alone, and somehow managed. I don't know whether he made or missed the layup. It doesn't matter. The fact is,
Chuma, he gets this. First of all, he tells this story all the time and continues to get it wrong. We were in for the score, which I don't know if you guys run that. But basically, we spread the floor, and we're not stalling. We're looking for opportunities to take advantage of the defense. And I should have, to Markham's point, I should have been the last guy looking to take advantage on the offensive move. But I made a move, made the layup, and came down on another player's foot, and that was it. So that's what he's referencing, and it's very callous of him to continue to reference it, Chuma, just so you know.
Oh man, it sucks. That sucks.
So I'd like to shift gears right away to you being on campus. Again, I mentioned student athlete. Do you find yourself more active because you are a student athlete, less active? Because the things I've seen, you're front and center. What does that mean to you? Activism, social activism. Are you locked in with the student body? Share some of the things you're doing on campus.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think in making the decision to come to Georgetown, like I knew in my head that being involved, like in the community, was something that was gonna happen regardless if I was playing basketball, 4 different sports. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of just somebody that I am. Really enjoy to be like in a community, kind of like know all the people that I'm walking around type of situation. In regards to like the things that I'm actively involved in on campus, we've got like a club called Georgetown's Aspiring Minority Business Leaders and Entrepreneurs. I'm a mentor in that. So kind of with a lot of the younger guys who are coming up in the business school here on campus, kind of just mentoring, helping people navigate like a whole bunch of different situations. I'm an intern with GWAFSCU, which is Georgetown's Alumni and Student Federal Credit Union, completely student run. In my opinion, one of the cooler things about Georgetown right now, it's I believe been going for 40 years plus. Kind of just their mission is to kind of just empower students to just take control of their finances, right? Help people up their financial literacy, build credit while in college still. Something I got involved in when I was a freshman and have kind of stuck with since. And yeah, no, I think those are two of my like more major roles. I'm also on uh, the Black Student Athlete Coalition, and then I'm also kind of like in an acting slash modeling show that's gonna happen at the end of April called Abisa. So just you know what I mean, kind of sticking my toe in all the different puddles that I can on campus.
As you should.
I,
As you should.
Yeah.
I didn't know we had a model coming on, Gene. Thanks for letting us know this. But before I forget, you mentioned the business things. Offline, let's connect. I want to put you in contact with a guy named Kojo Mills, who was there when I was there, doing a lot of great things business-wise. I think he would love to connect with you. And he's also on the board of regents at Georgetown. So,
And and Mark, just to add to that, I sent him the episode with Raheem and Ron Blaylock. And I'd love to, if you don't know those two gentlemen already, Chuma, you should. So yeah, we like to make that connection as well.
That'd be awesome. Thank you, guys.
And as a follow-up to that, Gene is the research guy in between us. I know that probably is shocking to a lot of people, but I did a little bit, and I'm wondering what is the BLK Capital Management Corporation? Because I saw that on one of your social media profiles.
Yeah. So BLK is essentially like a student-run hedge fund, kind of run by Black students across the country. Essentially, I guess what a hedge fund is they invest in like public companies and their stocks. And it's actually a really cool organization. Essentially, what BLK does is take different cohorts of Black students each year, runs them through like an education program, which I actually lead, on, I guess, the different qualitative and quantitative aspects of like a stock pitch. So I guess taking a look at a public company, breaking it down for like all its details, and effectively like evaluating if it would be a good investment or not. Put together like a portfolio. I think right now it's sitting around $100,000. And like different students within the organization will pitch stocks. And if we deem them to be, good opportunities, we'll add them to the portfolio. And it's definitely been like a really big club for me, as well as like a lot of the other students who take part in it, because there's like, I believe 40 plus sponsors across Wall Street. This is like investment firms, banks, and funds, different people who are looking for Black talent. They'll come recruit from BLK, and we place a lot of Black people like across Wall Street and on, for sure.
So you mentioned financial literacy.
Mhm.
And I'm so glad you did that, because I think that's something that really should be. I mean, they teach us about all these really unnecessary things in school, and things that would really help people. They don't. I was an English major, so all the things you were talking about just now, I've heard about since then, but I'm wondering how much of a return I would get on an investment in you, because I don't have the financial capabilities that you just responding to that question exhibited. I could talk to you about the acting part, but you seem to be well down the financial path, which is just FYI, a much better one. My friends at Georgetown always talk about how it's great that I found something I'm passionate about, and they wish they had found the same thing. And I always remind them that their bank accounts would not be the same as something that they were as passionate about.
So Chuma, we don't want to keep you because we know you got things going. Even though it's a Sunday, a happy Palm Sunday to everybody, by the way. But what three things I'd kind of like to touch on with you real quick. Who in the locker room is talking about crypto and NFTs other than you?
Yeah, me and Malcolm, we talked.
And what are your thoughts around NIL? What it means, what it doesn't mean, what you like to see happen, or what you envision. What do you
Yeah,
think about? Just your thoughts.
no, I mean, I think it's really cool. Definitely helping athletes kind of get um a footing, essentially, like in a city, a lot of smaller companies, a lot of smaller, like places to go,
Local.
local things like that will reach out, support athletes, and in turn, athletes will help them get their word out. I think the whole NIL movement is something that I'm really happy about. I wrote a paper in high school actually about why I think college athletes should get some more support. Um, so definitely the movement is real cool in my opinion. Um, and yeah, no, definitely just having like a wider support system, whether it's paid or not, is something that I think is really valuable. And that every athlete should kind of try to take advantage of if they can.
Of course, he wrote a paper on it in high school. Of course, he did. So with that, Chuma, like I said, we're winding down. We have we put together a list, and it's an unofficial list, and it's awards for the team this season. So, and we got you here.
The first
What's that?
annual Hoya Locker Room
There you go.
Awards.
Awards, and we have a player. So please feel free to chime in if you want to ad lib. If not, you can just go. Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. That's cool too, because again, this is from the heart. So obviously the first award would be the captain's award, and that would go to Donald Carey. And if anything you want to share about Donald Carey, a story or something, that would be cool. If not, I'll move on to the next award. But that would be our captain's award. I don't know where we would have been if he had not come back. His leadership was front and center. So yeah, that's our captain's award.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. I think Don has played like a huge role on the team this year. Last year he was actually my roommate, so got to know him pretty well. And yeah, no, 100% agree. I think he was definitely in the captain's spot this year.
So the next award is the MVP award, and that goes to Aminu Muhammad. And I thought it was the biggest slap in the face that the dude wasn't Big East Rookie of the Year. I thought that was just like spineless. But again, I'm biased, so I always let people know I'm biased. I'm coming blue and gray to the end. But Aminu, I think the double doubles were crazy. He was relentless. And it's a lot like I envision you. I envision you as relentless. And remember, I've been in the crate, so I'm expecting a lot from you next year. But any comments on Aminu, playing with Aminu?
Yeah, no, I mean, great kid, 100%. Crazy athlete, never gets tired, super fun to play with. And I think 100% deserving of the award for sure.
Our next award is Defensive Player of the Year. And even though he, is leaving in the portal, that's Timothy Iguepe. If I said that correctly, I'm happy. If not, I apologize. And just simply put, the last game of the season, he was defensively out of his mind. And that kind of sealed it for me. And again, once you pull in the blue and gray, you blue and gray for life for me. You're Hoya family for life, and that's why it's so important to have you here, because we want you to feel that. But yeah, Timothy was the defensive cat for me. Commentary there?
Yeah, no, that's my guy, man. Gonna miss him for sure. Came in together. His family is like from the same part of Nigeria as mine. And yeah, no, it's always just been a huge presence, fun guy to be
Yes.
around.
Yeah. Okay.
And definitely
Cool.
affect the game for sure.
Definitely on the defensive end. So most improved player, all I have to do is this, and that's the left hand. So that would be Colin Holloway. His transformation, and again, this is what I love about being in a competitive environment. You never know when your opportunity is going to come, and you never know how it's going to come. You just have to be ready. So I think Colin maximized this year, and undoubtedly most improved player of the year.
Yeah, no, I think that's without a doubt. I think he's been ready. he definitely
According to Jamarco, he has been ready.
he used to give Jamarco a little bit of work at practice. But no, Colin is a good kid for sure. Has been talented since he got here. And when he got the opportunity, he maximized it and hasn't turned back for sure.
Looking forward to seeing him again next year. Our next award, and this is a shout out award to Rich. It's the Rich Shavakin Award, and it's just based on social media, and that goes to Ryan Mutombo. He is by far the most active and the most candid, most interesting cat. I would be surprised. Again, I'm a Georgetown dude, and I say this with laughter and glee. I would be surprised if he wasn't muzzled during the year. I would be surprised just because he's that good. He's that good. But yeah, Ryan Mutombo is our Rich Savakin Award.
Yeah, no, I love Ryan. He's actually my road roommate now. So when we travel, I stay with Ryan.
Oh, dude, they got you all over the place. You're such a good influence.
Yeah, no, they rotate us each year, so get a new roommate. But yeah, no, Ryan, great kid, real smart, like just knows a lot about the most random
Crazy
things.
smart. You can just see crazy smart. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he'll really grow into a strong role on the court as well, no doubt.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. And now our last award is the Lonnie Duren Award. And Lonnie Duren played at Georgetown from 1976 to 1980. He was part of the initial Georgetown team that cracked into the Elite Eight. And Lonnie saw little to no playing time, but his impact on the program is legendary. He was obviously, he didn't play a lot, but he sat at the first chair, like he sat next to the scores table, and he let every player know from the opposing team, you're in for an ass whooping. Like, we're going to be up in, like, he was literally, you would think he was a player, and opposing players would let us know, yo, who is this dude, man? Like, where'd you get this rabid cat from? So he was that insane, that intense, and that award goes to you, sir. So yeah, you're our guy. No gifts.
Lonnie there?
I think we have Lonnie as a special guest, Chuma, to kind of celebrate this moment. And again, that's what you represent to us. You're that guy on the bench who never lets us down. So if I can click Lonnie in, I see your face. Lonnie, are you there?
Yeah, you got me blocked to get in. But, I'm clicking on, you gotta take, oh, there you go.
There he goes.
Hey, how you doing, man?
How you doing, boss?
All right.
And I'm sure you've seen Lonnie behind the bench, Chuma.
Yeah, I've been at every game for the last 30 years. But I've been listening to what we got on and what you're talking about. But I just want to give you some updates. I didn't play because of a reason. It's not that I couldn't play.
Same thing with me, Lonnie.
I want to just clarify, when people say you didn't play, there's a reason why I didn't play. And there's a reason why Sleepy Floyd came there, because me and my brother went there together. I went to a military academy to actually reconstruct some of my ways of thinking. And from there, I learned how to maneuver myself to get through college. College is based on time management, in which I heard you speak of, but the way you explain it and the way the military carries it, I got to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, and every day, every hour, I had something to do until reveille to go to bed at 10 o'clock and get back up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And I did that for a whole year. So that was the same in putting the time in to study, to practice, and then you still had to do the military stuff, because you could have went and took the exam to go in as a lieutenant. That was the difference in me going, that I wasn't going to the service, but I had the opportunity to go in as a lieutenant if I completed, the regiments in which dealt with the service. But fast forward, Coach Thompson recruited me back in the 9th grade. So I went to Dunbar, and John is my brother, and we had a good team. We was ranked in the nation. Then the next year they came and went 29-0 and was #1 in the nation. That's one of the only high schools the press ever did that. From there, I made the decision that we was gonna go to Georgetown, but some fell through with my brother in Clemson because he wanted to go down there because of Skip Wise was down at Clemson. But Skip Wise ended up losing his toe and everything went south on him. But my thing too, in dealing with the situation at Georgetown, my first year, I tore all the ligaments and tendons in my left ankle. Then the following year, I tore all the ligaments and tendons in my left ankle. But end of the day, I had bone chips as well. And so a lot of people didn't know my situation, but they thought I'd never run again. But end of the day, that's how Sleepy Floyd came there, because I wasn't able to play. So I got a way of saying things that can sometimes.
But Lonnie, can I say this? I know this for a fact. Sleepy Floyd is on record as saying he would not have been the player he was if it wasn't for this gentleman that we're talking to now. Just in terms, so he says he wasn't able to play, but he put hands on Sleepy Floyd in every practice.
I put hands on all of them. Okay, I'm gonna get
there
to that.
There you have the Hoya Hollywood true story.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. Normally, I don't tell my story because people, all of them got stories from the 80s up until now, and I'm gonna hit on something that deals with that. But the thing is that I knew I couldn't play, but I know my brother is out there, so my concept of participating is different from anybody else on any team that I'm playing against. To me, they are my competitors. So when I'm on that court, I'm treating them like I'm actually on the floor. So people that were so confused and mad at me because it's what I was saying to them, I was taking their brain set and throwing them off the game. So some of them actually would be trying to take the ball out and walk down by the bench so they just can kick at me. And I say to them, nigga, I'm in the game, but I'm playing, but I ain't out on the court because I know I got you. And I say some other stuff too, to be honest. But
Lonnie, could you share with us what you used to say at every game in the huddle before you broke out?
I told him to get a lead so I can get in the damn game. That's one of the main things. If I know if you got a nice lead, then I can get some minutes out of it. But end of the day, it came to the point that the second team, we had a white team and a blue team. This is an important part for you to know. We didn't really get in the game, but we treat them so bad in practice because we wasn't playing. And we know we got to run the other team set. We ran that like we really was going at them as the other team. So when we going at them, you got everybody in sync. You don't have nobody slacking off. You don't have nobody backing down because you the star player, because you out there that 40 minutes in front of the public that they don't see you. So all the work y'all putting in, you don't get the recognition. So just like on that bench, and I sat on that bench and I watch y'all got a disconnect because y'all supposed to be observing what them other teams doing, the guard supports in the center. So when them guys come out the game, you can tell them their weakness. I don't see that from y'all. I see when you playing good, everybody good. But when you playing down, you bring that level down to that I don't know situation. Y'all is the backbone of the 5 people on the court. It's just like now, you in position where you're gonna come there and play more, and you will understand what I'm saying to you, If you in practice and the guy is letting you do what you want to do because who you are, that's bullshit. I would bust your ass every day. And then I would actually bust your ass if you're not doing what you do on top of the hill as representing yourself and the university and the basketball office. But the thing you said to me is enlightening to anybody look at this. People perception and reality is different. Because if you're doing the things you just said, in your time in college now, from the time I went to college, we didn't have those opportunities. From we in my 80s, it was good to get a job because we wasn't there with people actually networking the way that players network now. So some people got ill feelings about what wasn't done before in their time. We are in different times. Y'all are more modern day students than what we were. We were students that had a real cause to make sure we survived. Because back then, ball led to you getting a gainful employment in the NBA, overseas, and all of that. So our concentration was real more to me, it's in a hidden dynamic because we was already focused on where we wanted to go and how we wanted to do it. And some things, it didn't get what you always wanted. And that's why I seen somebody write some anonymous because they writing on their feelings. But I would never suggest that if I'm writing something, I wouldn't say it, somebody said what I'm writing. That let me know it's not coming from what you experienced. You let somebody else tell you what went on. And the thing too is that y'all in a position where you haven't had a great season. This is the time y'all should be listening to the coach and find out exactly, what you need to do and take it among yourselves to get together and work on that, even when you don't supposed to be working out. Y'all need to mend and have something that y'all just be honest with one another. Because riding the bench ain't no fucking fun. Getting in the game is no fucking gun if you ain't prepared to get in the game. So that's what I'm looking for y'all to do is that bench be a serious bench, not joking and playful when somebody do a dunking. That's a job to do all that. Give me some shit that you don't supposed to do and I can might find humor in. But if you go put 40 minutes in practice and give a hard 40 minutes, and then you use what you did in practice and go to that opponent, that shit isn't gonna be easy. Because if you know you give your all every day, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, how many hours you practice? And everybody on the same page. I had John Irwin, Dave Blue, Kirk Hall, those three white boys. When they left there, they weren't scared of a damn soul. They even buck on me, and I helped them get to where they at. Because if they not practicing, and most Irwin was a walk-on, matter of fact. If they weren't giving it all they all, then my brother and Sleepy and them, they wouldn't have did too much of nothing because we were slack if they were slackers. So the point of this award you getting, that award has a lot of meaning to me. And I didn't know they were doing the award because I always tell Gene, no, I'm not coming on this show because I can say shit my damn self. But the thing of it is, by you coming on here, you don't share light on a lot of misconception about Georgetown communicating with players and other organizations. You called off 4 or 5 of them. Some people in universities ain't in none of them. They don't have the same stuff that you going on. But if people don't know that, that's why all this writing and all this shit keep going on. That was part of it. So my thing now is for you now to sit back and analyze what you expect out your players. because it sounds like you the leader in your own way. But sometimes my leadership is vocal. And sometimes you got to get vocal. They just can't go on your temperament. Or you might get sad and twisted your face. Let them know, hey, let's do it this way. Let them know that's not the right play. Count to 3 before you break off a cut. Those things are important to a guy that actually out there playing, and he can't figure out why he can't get his damn timing off, but he ain't breaking free. He letting the man run with him. You got to fake left, fake right, go up and back. So those are things that you should pay attention to, even in practice when these guys think they got it. To be honest, ain't none of them got it, because you need all 10 of y'all involved. There's a lot more I can say, but the thing about it is that this season wasn't a good season. Everybody keep hopping on this and that, this and that. But this was any other place, I think too, after a little while, that shit blow over. So I would ask myself as a player, why is there so much that you keep rehashing it? Somewhere it got to cut off. And it can't just say, I'm gonna wait till the season start and see what they do. But y'all need to know from the beginning, if somebody keep counting chips down on you, y'all should tuckle in and have your own meeting of the minds to say, I'm not going for this. I'm gonna prove all these people wrong. Because it's hard to do your job if you got every Tom, Dick, and Harry wanna criticize what you do. Put their self in your position. Most of them can't do it, man. College and basketball and athletics, that shit is not easy. It's a job within a job within a job. You got to make sure your family happy. I'm gonna say your girl if you got one. And then I'm gonna say the coaches. And then you got to satisfy yourself and your players. That's 5 or 6 different ways you are being pulled. So your mindset has to be sturdy enough to be strong enough to interact with all of them and keep all of them happy, which you're not going to be able to do. So my thing, this award means something, and you really don't know me, but you can ask anybody about me in my time.
We know you now.
I'm just saying in my time that I don't go for too much. I'm a serious-minded person there. I do what I would like to do. I control my own destiny. And like I said, I made my own way coming out of Georgetown, because my thing when the coach was there and the opportunities presenting itself now, you can't go back and compare what we did to what you do. Because we didn't have all these movements that you had. You got Georgetown now representing getting guys out of prison, getting them degrees. They just had a class of 25. They working on their second 25. So where did all that money come from to help them? Even our Black Student Alliance, that money coming from us winning and put money in the coffer at Georgetown to help poor Blacks and poor whites. So my thing is that y'all are doing stuff, it's just not being showcased for right now. It shouldn't have to be. I shouldn't have to prove to you what I'm doing to make you find out if I'm intelligent enough or not. You're not a statistic. So that way, I think when stuff do come out, they can look at the program in a different way. Our time and effort, we didn't talk to the media. And whatever reason, it worked for us. So now it's things that you need to talk to the media and do this. All of them have their own objective. Sometimes talking to somebody can cause you more damage than not talking. So that comes on, you have to have a sensibility is somebody asks you some question, you can pick up right there. It's gonna be a good interview or a bad interview. Thank you, sir, but no thank you. Ain't nothing wrong with saying no, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't have to cost you an article in the paper because somebody is disgruntled. And I hope this helped you, man, because like I said earlier, we're at a point now where this thing never happened at this university before. So how do we deal with it and get past it? And y'all are the focal point and working with the coach and the staff and get them players to understand this is not just about individual stats. It's a team effort. On the court, off the court, riding the bench, in the game, because end of the day, when people see you go into universities and play these guys, you have a certain air about you that they know you coming to win. You're not coming to be comfortable and have the outcome or the outcome, which can go both ways. You should do that homework in that gym and establish when you go into another university that you know your odds of winning is greater than throwing up a coin. I hope that makes sense to you. That's
Thank you, Lonnie.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just so you know, when you say stuff like what you just said, me and Gene want you back on here more often.
No, thank you. No, thank
That
you.
ain't happening. That
Yeah,
ain't happening.
we're gonna be banging on your door, Lonnie.
I already got cursed out for this, Markham, so I can't. I just want a Chuma again. Lonnie mentioned it. The award means a lot to us, and usually when I hit you, I talk about Chuma energy. I talk about 40 minutes hard. When you see Lonnie Duren, that's where 40 minutes hard came from.
Hey,
And
can I,
we-
may I?
Please.
The big Pat Ewing is not the beast of the East. I was named the beast of the East. The original beast is myself, if you really want to know.
Love it.
40 hard minutes came from me.
We're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
have a follow-up on that.
Get some leads so I can get in the game.
We're gonna have a follow-up on that, Lonnie.
Hey, Chuma, I'm gonna need you to let them know you coming for him. You coming for him, Chuma. You coming for him.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
take that spot, man.
I also want to say, I want to give the guys a shout out. Zach Pine, Cooper Franklin, and Ace Young, the managers. We didn't have a manager of the year award because clearly something was wrong with the Gatorade this year. So Chuma, you let them guys know, let Coach Ewing know. I'm gonna be in DC near the end of the month, and we're gonna have a Gatorade session and get it right over there. The other thing I want to say, is that since we've been on, I mentioned, gentlemen, to you, Kojo Mills. After that, my phone started blowing up. There have been 3 people that hit me up with names to put you into contact. Just FYI. And to that end, I'm curious if you would like to, at some point in the future, host or co-host the episode, because I can't let this pass. You're much better looking than my current co-host. If you would like to come on and co-host the episode, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, man, just let me know.
I don't know if that's your lane or not.
Hey, Chuma, don't commit to that, Chuma. You ain't got to commit right now, Chuma. But I think it would be great. You seem to be a jack of all trades. Something else to add to that resume. I think it would be a good look.
Yeah,
And we don't mean to put you on the spot, but we do.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've enjoyed the time. I think it's been a fun hour for sure. Yeah, you guys let me know if I, have the time. I'd love to hop on again for sure.
Cool. And the last thing I want to say in closing, Lonnie was talking about the class of, I think you said 25, Lonnie. I think what you're referring to is the pivot program that Georgetown does. And we're not going to do it today. We're about to wrap this up, but we just had the John Carroll Awards in Nashville. And I met some people from the pivot program. We're going to bring them on. And also, very special fan episode. I defy anybody who has more Georgetown fans in this particular family that I'm going to bring on. I defy you. That's the teaser. And in closing out, we had Mike Riley come on a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago at this point, former player and assistant coach, current head coach at UDC. And we talked about how he and I would exchange quotes on the way to games. So people were hitting me up about that. So I just want to close out today with a quote from Nelson Mandela. And he said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And that's my 2 cents.
That's
Thank
a
you.
wrap. I cannot. Beautiful ending, Markham, and I don't want to ruin it by speaking over it. But I can't thank the Triple OG enough, Lonnie Duren, for coming through. And for the record, if he wasn't injured, he would have been playing at Georgetown. But the fact that he did not let that inhibit him or prohibit him from contributing to the success of the program, I think speaks volumes. And that's the light we see you in, young fella, Chuma. And we wish you the best. Don't be a stranger. I'll slide in your DMs just to keep that connection going. But much respect and much appreciation for you taking this time. I said we wouldn't go more than an hour. We're a little bit over. But when you got a Triple OG, especially when he buttoned it up to the top, you got to listen. And we thank you for that. We thank you for your time. And we wish you the best. We wish everyone the best. And Markham, if you could hit us with that quote one more time, just to send us out.
It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela.
Everyone have a good rest of your Sunday. Appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks again, Lonnie, for coming out and talking.
All right. Thank you too. Take care.